episode 17 of the MadeByMoomeeno podcast. This is a knitting podcast and my little corner of the internet to talk about all things knitting and all things yarn related. Any projects that I'm working on at the moment, any test knits I'm doing, that kind of thing. So hi, my name's Kathryn, and a massive welcome if you're new here, and a huge welcome back if you've been here before. I always put chapters in, so if there's any bits that you're not interested in, please feel free to skip through. And everything I talk about is linked down below, but feel free to reach out and email me if I've missed anything. So if you've been here before, you'll know that normally I'm filming from my home in Germany. So I live in Mönchengladbach with my partner. But at the moment I'm back in the UK, I'm in Wales, and I suppose the closest village would be Abergavenny. So I'm at my parents' house in Wales, which is where I'm from originally. And I'm here because my dad has just had a very big shoulder operation, but he's doing really, really well. But I'm just here helping out my parents for a couple of weeks. My brother and his wife are also here as well. So yeah, it's a nice full house, lovely excuse to spend some time with family. But I'm not filming in my usual setup. This is my mum's, one of my mum's crafting rooms. So as me and my brothers and sisters, I'm the eldest of 5, left home, my mum gradually took over various bedrooms to be her crafting rooms. And as you can probably see, there's a lot of fabric back there. She's a quilter, she's also a knitter, but she's a quilter mainly. And yeah, so I'm podcasting today, or filming today, from her workroom in a beautiful sunny day in the Brecon Beacons in Wales. So yeah, welcome, thank you. A huge thank you to anybody who liked and subscribed on my last episode as well, and also thank you to the lovely people who are supporting me on Ko-fi too. You can find me on Instagram as Moomeeno, on Ravelry as Moomeeno, and everywhere else as MadeByMoomeeno, and I also have an email address as well, so feel free to reach out if you would like to. So today I've got a couple of FOs to talk about. What else have I got? I've got a couple of WIPs, and also I'm going to announce the winners of the MadeByMoomeeno Thrifty MAL that we've been running for the last couple of months. So yeah, let's get started. I've got my notes. Hopefully I won't forget anything today. It's always a bit strange if you're doing something in not your own home. It's like cooking in someone else's kitchen, isn't it? Everything is always slightly different and you can't find anything you need. So let's be boring and traditional and start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing the, just pull up the notes for it. Yes, I'm wearing the Art Nouveau sweater by Eleanor Mortensen, and I test knit this, when was it? I think it was about 4 months ago, something like that. And I absolutely love this. I've been wearing it loads over the last couple of weeks. Can I stand up and show it to you? So this was knit in Woolly Knit, 500 gram cones in British 4-ply held double. And I've done it exactly to pattern. The length I did make slightly shorter, just because, as you can see, I'm wearing it with a skirt, so I tend to wear skirts and dresses a lot, so I like things to be slightly more cropped. And it's knit in the round, beautiful Colourwork yoke sweater. I talked about it in detail on one of my previous episodes, which I will link up in the corner. But I used 3 different colours. The main colour is cinnamon brown from Woolly Knit, and I'm just so in love with this colour. I kind of want to make something else in it. I don't know if you can see, I've got so many different colours in it. Really beautiful. And the Colourwork section, the top part I did in oatmeal, and then I blended it into smoke because I didn't have quite enough of the oatmeal colour to do the whole yoke, so I thought I'd mix it up a bit and do 2 slightly different colours. But I don't think you can really see the different colour change that drastically in this light. But yeah, it's lovely and warm. Eleanor Mortensen did her original sample in a linen blend, I believe. So there's been so many different weights and yarn types being used for this by the various different testers, and then now the pattern's been released, or the people who have been making the sweater. So I think it's a very, very versatile pattern. The main body of the sweater was knit on 3.5mm needles, which is a US4. So it's not the quickest knit in the world, but I think you end up with a very nice fabric as a result. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today, and it's lovely and warm and cosy. Okay, finished objects. This week I've got a couple of finished objects to show you, and the first of which is a test knit that I did recently for Maxim Sear, and I finished it about 5 days ago, I think. I'll put some pictures up here of my lovely dad modelling it before he went in for his shoulder operation. Yeah, I really enjoyed this test knit. It was very engaging but not too taxing. And so the cowl is knit in 2 halves. You start each half down at the point with a little garter tab, and then it's knit up with a rib and a bit of a slip stitch I-cord on each side, which creates this really nice definite boundary going all the way up. And then once you get up to the shoulder part and you start the decreases, that's achieved with short rows in this area here, and it makes a really nice smooth rounded edge to it. And then knit straight up for the collar section and repeat for the back. Once you finished both sides, I actually blocked mine separately before I sewed it together. I've knit several cowls in the past that are quite thick, and from experience they just take ages to dry, so I prefer to seam them after they've been blocked, but that's just my personal preference. So yeah, being modelled by my dad. Let's talk about the yarn very, very quickly. I knit this in lots of scraps. So the first side I made in woolen twine, and this is a gorgeous squishy unspun from Beulah up in Hamburg in the colourway Rye. I don't think that she makes this anymore, but if she ever does, I will definitely be buying more because it's a really gorgeous yarn. And the second yarn I used for the other side was this Nutiden in a delicious light green colour, and I'll put the colourway down below because a very kind Swedish person did message me after the previous podcast to tell me how to pronounce it, but it's immediately gone out of my mind again. So I'll pop it down there. Well, you can see there, this is really common with unspun. You have these little bits of grass and foliage often caught up in it, which I really enjoy, to be honest, because it just feels like a really natural organic product with the little bits of flora tucked away in there. Anyway, so I knit, the one side in woolen twine, the other side in Nutiden, and I held both with a mohair or an alpaca. Again, just scraps. I've got very little to show you. That's all I've got left of the little bit of Ito that I held with the green side, and I've a little bit more left of the alpaca that I held with the woolen twine side. Again, all of the details for these yarns will be down below. Sadly, and most irritating for you, I imagine, I think all of these yarns have been discontinued with the exception of the Ito, which is still available. But this is definitely my favourite mohair, and if you want to see more of this, have a look at my previous episode because I talk about this in a little bit more detail. But this was knit on a 3.5mm needle, which I believe is a US4, and it created a really squishy, luxurious feeling cowl. The finished object is really gorgeous. I think I might knit another one in a DK. I think it would make a really good gift knit. The original sample from Max was, I believe, a fingering weight held with a lace weight, so held with a mohair, which would be really, really lovely as well. I sometimes have a little bit of a sensitivity to mohair, the Ito not so, but I might be tempted to make that in a plain DK, I think that would be really nice. Also, I think it would be lovely if you knit it in the same colour on both sides as well. There's absolutely no reason why it has to be 2 different colours, although it does make it, I think, quite versatile for wearing with different outfits. But yeah, I have a colour in mind, so watch this space. Maybe I'll knit another one before Christmas. But the reason I don't have it is because my grandfather came to visit yesterday to see my dad after his operation. And I showed it to him And he just fell in love with it. He was like, oh, this is perfect, it's so warm and squishy, and I can just imagine this on a cold day. So my grandfather is 93. He still works full time. He's a piano tuner and he has a piano business in Cardiff. If you're in the Cardiff area and you know the Gabalva flyover, you'll know exactly which piano shop I'm talking about. But yeah, that's my mother's family's business. But anyway, he's 93 and he feels the cold. And when he said how much he liked it, I couldn't take it away from him. Of course, he had to take it home with him. So it means I have nothing to show you. But I've got to be honest, it just gave me so much pleasure to knit something that somebody was like, ooh, I want this about. And it's just, yeah, it was lovely. I was really taken aback. No, not taken aback, just it was very emotional. It was lovely. So yeah, that's with my Grampy now, so I can't show it to you, sadly. But maybe I'll take some pictures of him wearing it next time I see him. Yeah. So that's my first finished object. My next finished object is a gorgeous sock that I cast on at the same time as my mum, and this is a really lovely Scandinavian style sock, and I'm just really enjoying it. I've never done small circumference colour work before, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's very, very, very addictive. So this is knit in, if I grab the cute project bag made by my mum. This is Filcolana Arwetta, and I'm knitting it in this lovely mustard colour and this lovely marzipan colour. So one of the colours is 977, I believe that's the marzipan, and the mustard colour is a secret because none of the ball bands are in here. Great. I'll put it down below what colours these are exactly. But yeah, I picked up this little sock set when I was in Oslo earlier on this year, and yeah, thought that it would be a really nice project to do with my mum at the same time. So we cast them on at the same time. And I'm knitting mine on, as the pattern recommends, a 3mm needle. Now, personally, I'm finding that the 3mm, I think that's a US 2.5, is producing quite a loose sock. So I think I'm going to continue as is with these ones because, as I said, this is the first small circumference colour work that I've ever done. So I'm going to continue as is. But I think for the next one, I think I might go down for a 2.75 if I make another pair of these. And I think I'd still be happy with the fit. I was just worried about whether or not it was going to go over my instep because I have quite a high instep. So I needed to make sure that it was not too tight. So yeah, the pattern's really nice. I'm having to do a little bit of guesswork and detective work because the original pattern is in Norwegian. I have linked it down below. It's not on Ravelry, but it is available from the designer's website. So again, I'll put the link down below for that if you're interested. And I just really love this because you're alternating this flea stitch on the sole. It's creating a really lovely, soft, squishy base to the sock, and I think these are going to be gorgeous to wear in wellies or in my hiking boots or whatever. So yeah, just about to cast on the second sock and thoroughly enjoying it. Really, really thoroughly enjoying it. So that's well, it's not really a finished object, half a finished object. Okay, so my final finished object is another gift knit. This is a Musselburgh made of scraps of yarn. I'm pretty sure that this is Lana Grossa Colorismo, but I'm not 100% sure. And this is just going to go to one of my nephews, probably over in California. And yeah, that's just another Musselburgh. I can't remember what this is. I have a feeling that it might be a generic yarn from Hobby. I think when I was in the early days of knitting, I did order quite a lot of yarn from Hobby, which I've destashed a lot of it, if I'm honest. but I do still have a couple of ends lurking around the place that are perfect for use in hats. This one isn't going to be machine washable because I'm pretty sure that all of the yarn in it is 100% wool, and I don't think it's superwash. I can't guarantee it. Do you know what? If you put it in on a 30 delicate, it would probably be absolutely fine for the first 2 washes, and then suddenly it would fit a tiny pixie. But if that happens, I'll knit them another one. I'm not too bothered about that. That reminds me, actually, I was talking about making a muscle bra out of Drops Nord in one of my previous episodes, and I said about putting it in the washing machine. Just to be clear, Drops Nord is not recommended to be machine washable. I have washed it in the machine and it's absolutely fine. Again, I wash it in a net bag on a cool wash, a cool woolen wash with almost no spin in it at all, and I find that's absolutely fine. But just to be clear, the manufacturer doesn't recommend it for machine washing. But yeah, I've had a go, and personally I found that it's okay. You can get away with it, but that is on the individual to decide. So yeah, another muscle bra done for the gift knit pile. Okay, now moving on to WIPs, and while I'm thinking about gift knits, I've got another gift knit on the needles, yet another muscle bra, the last one. Again, I think this might be from Hobby. I'm not 100% sure. It feels like it's got some acrylic in it, but when I was first coming back to knitting, I wasn't very diligent about keeping ball bands and things like that. It might be, do you know what it might be some of the yarn I used for my partner's botanic shawl, actually. Yes, I think it might be, in which case I do know what this is, and I'll put it down below. But yeah, yet another muscle bra. Won't go into too much details, and this will also be going for the gift knit pile as well. So that is that. My main and kind of only big WIP at the moment is my holiday doodle sweater from Pacific Knit Co, Jamie Lomax, and this is a test knit that is running until I think the 29th of October. I think the planned release date is the 1st of November for this, and it's a really big pool of test knitters. So if you have a look at the hashtag winter doodle sweater, it's the winter doodle sweater, sorry, not the holiday doodle sweater, you'll see so many different versions of this in hundreds of different colorways and variations. I love Jamie's patterns. They are so customizable. You choose your own charts, you choose your own adventure. Choose the order, choose how you do it, but then she supports you every step of the way with really clear instructions about where to put your increases in, how to arrange the charts, whether or not to choose a shorter or a longer chart depending on your stitch count. It's a really, really nice pattern, and yeah, I'm enjoying knitting on it. I haven't made that much progress on it since you last saw it, but I did pick up the second sleeve a couple of days ago, and I'm working on that at the moment. And I need to finish the body as well. But I imagine that by the next time we speak to each other, I will have finished this and maybe even have posted a few pictures on Instagram. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's quite a dark yarn to be knitting on in the evenings, I will admit. And if I'm honest, it would be better to knit this during the summer. But I am enjoying it, and I'm enjoying working with this yarn as well. Again, I bought this yarn when I was visiting Oslo earlier on this year. I shall get some out to show you in the skein. This is Hillesvåg Vardar, and it's in the colour blue-grey, and it's just really nice. It is a rustic yarn, but it's, as I said in my previous episode, it's got a nice bloom to it, and it's even got a little bit of a sheen to it. It's got a bit of a lustre to it. It's not really picking up in this light. It's very bright in here. It's a lovely sunny day. It is blowing out a bit. But all of the details for this yarn are down below. But it's a definite DK. It's 100 grams is 200 meters, and it's just really nice to knit with. I would definitely knit with this again. It seems to be lovely for colour work, and the lighter colour that you can see there is Sandnes Garn Peer Gynt, and I think that's in the colourway Marzipan, but again I'll put it down below. Because I'm not in my house, I don't have all of the bits and pieces and ball pans necessarily, so I am relying a little bit on my show notes today. So as you can see, I've chosen all snowflake motifs for this jumper, but if you have a look online at the hashtag for this pattern, you'll see loads and loads and loads of different variations. I love snowflakes, so I've picked all snowflakes, but there are so many different options with Christmas trees, holly, little reindeer, all sorts of different things, and I've just chosen to make mine less Christmassy, for want of a better word, and I wanted a general sort of winter sweater, so I've just chosen all of these. My partner said that he thinks it reminds him of Space Invaders, and now he said that I can't really unsee it, which was a bit mean of him. But I see his point. It's this one here. This one here looks like Space Invaders. I can't wait to wear this, and yeah, I'm really, really enjoying knitting on this. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this in the next few days. So, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on and see how much other stuff I have to do. But this is knit on a 4mm needle, which is a US 6, so it's a little bit of a faster knit, for me anyway, because I normally end up knitting sort of 4-ply sweaters on a 3 or 3.5. So this is quite a nice treat, to be honest with you. And I've chosen to do a little twisted rib for my cuffs and my collar, and I'll do the same down at the base. I still haven't 100% decided if I'm going to do another line of snowflakes down at the bottom. At the moment I think not, but we'll see. I think actually the decision may have been made for me if I want to finish it in the next few days, because yeah, I don't have any more of the contrast colour with me. We shall see. I think it might just be more practical just to do it all in blue, but we shall see. I might save it till I get back to Germany. So that is that I'm working on at the moment. And in terms of WIPs, that's about it at the moment. Okay, next let's talk about the MAL winners. So for the last few months, I've been running a Thrifty MAL. So as I'm talking about this, I'm going to put a little slideshow of some of the entries up there. Apologies if yours isn't in there. I think I've managed to capture most of them, if not all of them, maybe even some duplicates, but they're all up there for you to look at. Yeah, so this was the MBM Thrifty MAL. And we had entries on Ravelry, on Instagram and via email. And the purpose of the MAL was to encourage us all to use stash yarn, rip out old projects that we weren't happy with and reuse the yarn, use gifted yarn, gifted patterns, and also any other craft that we might have sort of old unfinished projects from, or old kits, that kind of thing. And the purpose was to just spend as little money as possible and to be as thrifty as possible. And we had loads of entries. I think there was about 147 unique entries altogether. And the Ravelry group was really, really active. If you want to go and have a look at the entries on Ravelry, please feel free. I've been adding many of the patterns to the different bundles as we go along as well for free patterns. And they were just so creative and wonderful. Everything from sewing and patchwork and crochet and lace work, all sorts of different things. And it was just really lovely to see how creative and wonderful everybody was with their entries. So I picked the 3 winners. The MAL has closed now. The last day to enter was the 30th of September. So I did close the MAL and pick the winners then. And yeah, so I made a little Excel spreadsheet of all the different winners, and I used my my very limited Excel skills to generate some random numbers, and I will put the winners on the screen here. So there are 3 winners altogether, and you have won some yarn. So if I put up here in the corner the pictures of the different yarn that you could win. So the first yarn is from the WE Yarn Company. The lovely Ross, he donated a gorgeous skein of yarn. his Yaldi Yak sock base that is in the colourway The Gay Agenda, and it's just such a joyful colour. It's beautiful. I love his yarn so much, and I can't recommend it enough, and I really strongly encourage you to go and check it out. So one of the bundles is this yarn plus a pattern from the very generous Nancy Wheeler, who has offered to give a free pattern to one of the winners. The second bundle to the second prize winner is a gorgeous skein of Valk yarn. Again, I'll pop a picture up here. And a pattern gifted by JC of the Bluebird Pine Shop, a pattern of your choice. So that's the second bundle. And the third bundle is 2 different commercial sock yarns from Lana Grocer and a pattern from a very, very generous Autumn Acorn, who also I cannot talk today, who also donated a pattern as well for of your choice. So that's the third pattern bundle. So if the winners could contact me, please, via email. The details are down below. Please do not put any of your personal details down in the comments here. You don't want any random people contacting you on the internet. So please do email me, and I will arrange postage and sort that out for you as soon as possible. I'm going back to Germany on Thursday, and I don't have the yarn with me here. So I'll be posting it next week, or as soon after that as possible, to wherever the winners are in the world. So yeah, please do reach out, and if you don't contact me in the next couple of weeks, I will redraw one of the entries. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, so hopefully, I think this went really, really well, and I really enjoyed doing it. It was lovely, and it was a really nice atmosphere in the Ravelry group, and it was lovely to see the hashtag on Instagram being used. So I think we'll probably maybe run another one in the new year on a similar theme. But if anybody has any ideas for another MAL that they'd like to do, please do let me know. Also, I must say there were quite a few entries from members of my family, which I didn't include. So my dad had previously made some boat fenders that I'd put on a previous episode. My mum had made, excuse me, my mum had made some socks, my sister-in-law made some socks. My dad also made this for me, that I thought I'd show you. So he does some leather work occasionally, and he made this gorgeous little purse for me, a little pouch. And yeah, how nice is that? So yes, these weren't entered into the MAL. It was just non-family members who were entered into that. So there were quite a few more entries than the ones in my list. But yeah, I think some of them might have snuck into the little film reel that I'm showing up there at the same time. But yeah. Anyway, so that was the MAL, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And thank you so much to everybody who entered. It was yeah, it was really good fun for me anyway, and I think most people had fun with it too. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, and then finally, acquisitions. I've only bought 1 skein of yarn since I last spoke to you. At the end of this, my footage is of a little visit to the Woolcroft in Abergavenny, a really nice little wool shop with very lovely, friendly people who work there. And it's a tradition that my mum and I, every year, we cast on a pair of socks using that year's winter or Christmas yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners. And my mum usually gets it for me, but I was sneaky this year and managed to get in there first. So I bought 2 skeins of this. West Yorkshire Spinners Signature Sparkle 4-ply, and this year's colourway is called Yuletide. And it just always knits up into a really nice sock. I usually use a contrast colour for the toes and heels, and I've got a size 6 UK foot, which is what is that in the US? I've got no idea, maybe US 7 or an EU 39, I believe. So I can usually get 2 pairs of socks out of one of these if I'm stingy with the heels, toes and cuffs in a contrast colour. So yeah, that's this year's colourway. I find that it machine washes really well. And and it lasts very well. It's quite a durable yarn, and I love the little bit of sparkle in there as well. So happy days. I think my favourite one that they did was the dark blue one. I think it was called Starry Night or Silent Night or something like that. I think that was my favourite one that they did. But again, dark colours in the winter aren't the best, are they, for when the light's a little bit low. So there we go. Yeah, so a little bit of wrap-up chat at the end. Like I said, I'm here in Wales for another few days. I've been here for about 2 weeks altogether, just to help out a bit at home while my dad's recovering from his shoulder operation. It was a pretty big one. He needed a fairly hefty repair, so his recovery will be quite a while. So I imagine I'll be popping back and forth to the UK whenever I can over the next few months. So you might see another episode in the future here, but we'll see. But he's doing really well, and he's back at home being his usual grumpy self. So no, I'm joking. He's lovely. So lots of cups of tea to be made, and lots of trying to keep ourselves occupied and stop him from getting bored, because he's a super active person. He's always outside doing stuff. He's only recently retired. My parents are quite young, relatively speaking. They're only in their early 60s. So I think it's just frustrating, isn't it, when you can't get out and do your normal things and automatically, like, I'll light the fire or go and get some more logs or go and do this, that, and the other outside. So yeah, I think that's the worst, isn't it? It's just a bit frustrating when you can't do what you want to do. But it's lovely that I have the excuse to spend some time with them, so I'm not complaining. But that is it for today. I think that's all I want to talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've made it to the end, well done. Thank you for sticking with me. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode and hopefully a few more cast-ons. I'm planning on finishing off some projects, and I'll talk about those in my next episode. But just at the end here, please enjoy a little bit of footage from my visit to Abergavenny, and have a lovely day or week wherever you are, and happy crafting. Take care. Bye.